Today has been phenomenal. Start to finish. Last night, the new Morgan Wallen album drops. Underdog is in New York. And now we get in some fabulous fantasy football drafts on this beautiful Friday night. And honestly, we've been cooking lately. I'm not going to lie. Y'all know I'm the first person to admit whenever I draft crappy teams. I think we've been crushing. Because we've been crushing, we're going to be up in the stakes here a bit. We are going to be getting into a BBM. We are going to be in the largest fantasy football tournament on planet Earth. Just in case you've been living under a rock. This is Best Ball Mania, $25 buy-in, $2 million for first, $1 million for second, $500,000 for third. All the way down the line, I actually got 16th place in this tournament a couple years back. And I'm not settling for 16th place. That would be an absolute debacle if that's the best I ever get. We will be much, much better than that this season. And we will be taking down the first place prize. You can book it, guarantee it. And if I don't, honestly, unsubscribe from the channel next offseason because I am that confident that I am winning this tournament this season. Okay, maybe cut me some slack if I get second place. But anyway, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out with us. And I appreciate y'all, even though we're a little bit late. Let's see. Curtis says, hey, I was looking at your best ball rankings on your website and they seem glitched to me. Can you show how you work on them? So best ball rankings on the site haven't been officially set, but a big thing is if you're ever looking at the rankings on flockfantasy.com, big thing that you need to know the difference between is obviously we have a bunch of experts on the site. So no matter you're looking at dynasty, best ball, whatever you're looking at, if you want to see my rankings exactly, you hit sort by Mason Dodd. Now I haven't officially set my best ball rankings. I'll let y'all know when that gets done. I should probably do it this weekend. Hopefully this weekend. But I wanted to get in enough drafts and feel confident enough. But this is the same page that, again, if you ever wanted to go through and look at any of those metrics that we talk about, we actually just updated this. You can look at the career averages for these guys and see like yards per route run, target shares, but we actually added this additional tab so you can see everything from a per game perspective as well. So it's all on the site, but hopefully that makes sense, my friend. But we got Carson in this draft with us at 12. So we got to keep what we're doing on wraps, right? We're in here at 11. Justice says day 16 and trying to get in a draft with you. My friend, as long as you hit that bell next to the subscribe button, should be pretty damn easy to get in here. We got people in these drafts with us every single day. But J. Rob says, so now he wants us to cut him some slack if he gets second. Dude, if you get first overall or second in BBM, you're the GOAT. The 16th, bro, that's still fire. Well, if I get first, I will guarantee that all of next season, I show up to the live stream dressed as the Monopoly Man with a monocle, with a top hat, and we are good to go. People are saying that they're static. Oh, dear God. Thank you for letting me know. Let me unplug some cords, plug them back in. Let me know if the static is still there. Okay, please let me know. We're going to get Ash and Jinty at 11, which is a very rare fall. Okay, yeah, I had my phone on a cord. I apologize. But we go Jinty at 11, and okay, we're going to ruin it. You would get a unique combo with Jinty. I should have taken London. Why did I keep taking A.J. Brown instead? Looking at Brown, I know that maybe he was disappointing from a season-long perspective last year. But if you average everything out to a per-game perspective, it's about the same season we've always had. 3.16 yards per route run, a 34% target share. The routes per game fell dramatically from 33 back in 2023 down to 26 this past season. A lot of that had to do with the game environment the Eagles were playing in. Obviously, this is the team that just won the Super Bowl. Let's just pull this up. They won a lot of games. They ran the ball a ton. What did they officially finish with last season? 14 wins, 3 losses. There's no way this. the Lions had, wait, what? Am I bugging? The Lions had 15 wins last year? Regardless, but yeah, Steel Pin says Genty fell to 18 in his draft. Frank says he saw a Bijan Derrick Henry combo. Hey, the Underdog let these New York drafters back in, and these New Yorkers are going crazy. That's what it is. Insane. J. Rob says, pretty sure London finished as the wide receiver 5 last season, right? So a couple different things. One, if you look at London, a lot of the production came in week 18. So this is really cool what you can do on the site. And this is actually completely free for anybody on the site. So just go over to the site, go to the rankings page, click anybody you want to see all the advanced metrics for all these guys. Look at London. He drops 40 points in week 18 in a meaningless game against Carolina. If you're looking at the actual finish, if you're considering total points, yes, he finishes the wide receiver 5. If you're looking at per game numbers, the wide receiver 14. So per game, A.J. Brown was wide receiver 13. Drake London was wide receiver 14. If you're looking at totals instead, because A.J. Brown missed 4 games, he was the wide receiver 20 and Drake London was the wide receiver 5. But I don't think like A.J. Brown's way more likely to get injured than Drake London this next season. Okay. Evans goes 33. Okay. What are y'all doing to me here? If we wanted to get an elite quarterback, we can very easily do so at pick 38. So I'm going to be boring. I'm going to take Xavier Worthy. If Allen falls, cool, maybe we take him. But we know the team at the turn's not taking both Allen and Lamar. And if they do, cool, we'll take Breece Hall. So Allen goes 36. James Cook goes 37. Do we want to take Lamar? F it. We'll take Lamar. One thing I did in a slow draft off the live stream, actually, no, it was a fast puppy draft. I did a couple puppy drafts on the bike today, is I took Devonta Smith in round 4 whenever I also had A.J. Brown in round 2. And pretty much we pushed it saying nobody else is going to take Jalen Hurts. But we also were picking from like 6 or 7. So we didn't have to dodge too many teams. And when you're looking at Jalen Hurts, people can take him unstacked. Hell, I myself would take him unstacked in certain scenarios based off the rushing upside that he has. So it's not like taking Devonta Smith in round 4 while you also have A.J. Brown in round 2 guarantees you get Hurts later. But, of course, just in case somebody here doesn't know what's going on, these are best ball drafts. This is Underdog Fantasy. What best ball is it's fantasy football with no time commitment at all during the season. There's no waiver wire, so we are going to go incredibly deep in this draft. You are going to see some of the grossest names that you could ever imagine in round 17 and 18. You don't submit your starting lineup. That's done for you at the end of every single week. So say I take Cedric Tillman at the very end of this draft, and he has a random week where he scores 2 receiving touchdowns and A.J. Brown does nothing. Then he will actually slide into my starting lineup over A.J. Brown, even though I would have never predicted that was going to happen, right? So that's what allows me to draft hundreds of these teams every year. It's what's allowed me to win a lot of money on Underdog back when I was good at it, but now I am washed up. But if you want to get in the drafts rooms that we are doing every single night, take advantage of the fact that I am washed up, I'm old and crusty, you can find the link to Underdog Fantasy in the description, in the comment section, in the live chats. If you use promo code FLOCK, you will get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, on top of that, you will get my 2025 fantasy football rankings, draft guide cheat sheet / draft guide for free. When that's written, it'll be emailed to you to the email address that you signed up to Underdog Fantasy with, as long as you use promo code FLOCK in 2025. And Underdog is available in damn near every state. You can see the map here just in case you think it's not available for you. It is. It's in Texas. It's in California. It's in Florida. It's in New York. Black Suit asking how we did last year in BBM. I've showed the screenshot a bunch. We had a very good advance rate across all tournaments. In Best Ball Mania, we got to the last round, which I was very happy with, very proud of. And sadly, last round, our team just absolutely crapped the bed. And we did not really... we got our money back as you get to the last round. But, I mean, I was sitting there all Christmas week thinking I was about to win $1 million. And then when we obviously did not... it was a little disappointing, and it may or may not have ruined my Christmas, if we're going to be honest with each other. So hop on Underdog. That way you can dream all Christmas week of you winning $1 million. And then you have Nico Collins, Zay Flowers, and Lamar Jackson on Christmas. They do nothing, and you're sitting there with embarrassment the rest of the day. Okay, Blake asking how his team at 5 is. We'll look at that right after. We go Kittle at 59. When we go Kittle, we probably do want to be looking at a wide receiver here. Olave off the... Okay, if Olave's gone, who the hell am I taking? Am I taking Godwin? Do we want to go Godwin over Kamara? Oh my God. We're going to take Kamara. And we are just going to send up a massive prayer that we somehow, some way find wide receivers later. Here's my thought process. Y'all know me. Y'all know I want to take Godwin here. My monkey brain is all about it. But year in and year out, I make the mistake of drafting these injured guys in May thinking it's going to work out. They're going to be just fine. And all of a sudden, I draft a bunch of TJ Hawkinson. I draft me a bunch of freaking Jonathan Brooks. Like, I made a video last year at this time going, Najee Harris doesn't have a really high ceiling. We've kind of seen what this dude Najee Harris can do. I would rather have Brooks. Fast forward 12 months from now, 12 months later, we look back, and what exactly did Jonathan Brooks do last season? And hell, throw freaking Nick Chubb onto this list too. Jonathan Brooks last season touched the field in 3 games, capped out at 23% of his team's snaps, caps out at 6 freaking carries, has a total of 9 carries the entire year. TJ Hawkinson's maybe a better example because Hawkinson, I feel like, got back to the efficiency. Like, you go through and you look at this, the dude had a career high 2.61 yards per route run. Insane. But he finishes the tight end 17 in points per game and only played 10 games. So, a mistake that I have continuously made is I have overdrafted the injured players in May. I need to get better. I need to not just think, oh, it's going to be all right. Let me chase upside, upside, upside. And we're going to try our best from refrain reaching on Godwin. If he falls past ADP to me, trust me, I will take the dude. We go back and look at Godwin last season. What were we at? The wide receiver 2 in points per game. 2.35 yards per route run, a 26% team target share. Look at his target share since 2017. Last year was the highest mark in his NFL career. And the previous highest mark was 2 years ago. So he is trending in the right direction. But the difficulty with this is it's going to put me in a spot where your boy is struggling. Emphasis on struggling at wide receiver later in this draft. I already know it. Y'all know it if you've seen enough of these. So, send up a prayer. Ooh. Ayuk goes, Mr. Padilla, don't do it to me, my friend. Do not do it to me. Please, for the love of God. Don't do it. Oh, he doesn't do it to Mr. Padilla shows me some mercy. Longtime member of the flock here. Was at the first flock fantasy meetup. And we get Stephon Diggs. Huh. Now, I know we just went on a long rant about not drafting injured guys. But here's the thing. I had A.J. Brown, Xavier Worthy. That's it. After Diggs, the next best dude is Darnell Mooney. Am I wanting to draft Darnell Mooney at pick 83? No, I do not. I was actually planning on going TJ Hawkinson, funny enough. Which, thank God Hawkinson went, because now that I think about this, if I would have gone Hawkinson, it would have been a massive blunder. We have Lamar. We specifically need to be targeting Mark Andrews later on. So the team at 12, who's also in this live stream, saves me from myself. Thank you, my friend, from taking TJ Hawkinson. I've taken a ridiculous amount of TJ Hawkinson so far in these drafts. Let me pull up exactly how much Hawkinson I've taken. As I will say, I absolutely love the Hawkinson price tag. I know we literally just looked at his player card, and maybe y'all are tired of me showing these player cards from the site, but one, I think they're incredibly useful. I think they're really pretty, and also just helps me a bunch visualize things. 2.61 yards per out run this past season. When the dude was on the field, he only ran 22 routes a game, which obviously sucked. But that picked up as the season went on. But 2.61 yards per out run, the best efficiency we've pretty much ever seen from Hawkinson. I don't think Hawkinson's better than he ever was. But what I do think is, I think he's probably going to be 100% back from this injury this next season. And we have a very high floor. Okay, let me pull up exactly how many drafts we've taken Hawkinson in. Hawkinson's my most drafted tight end at 21%. My next highest tight end's at 14%, which is a combination of Kraft, Njoku, Schultz, Bowers. Which we were taking a lot of Bowers early just because I do think he can outscore the wide receivers there like London and A.J. Brown. But the tough spot with that is I just love what we get with these tight ends later on that I've had to stop myself from taking Bowers as much as I like him. Aleem says only the longtime members of the flock will remember when you used to tell people to fix their life and have some fun by signing up for Underdog. We'll bring that back. The Ladster out here, fellow Chase Brown lover. It was crazy, my guy, that y'all had double the people watching your dynasty decisions than y'all had watching the Underdog stream yesterday. Or 2 days ago, whenever he did. The Ladster from the Fantasy Stock Exchange also streams Underdog drafts, if y'all want to check that out. But let me bring this up for everybody. I was not going to mention this because I didn't know if this was for everybody. Let me know in the chat. I should have probably reached out to Underdog and asked them. Did y'all get this offer? Because it was definitely for me whenever I logged into Underdog. I actually don't see it right now. At least not on the app. I saw it when I looked at when I logged in on the computer. I got an offer of 25% deposit match. Obviously, if you're new to Underdog, you'll get a 50% deposit match with code FLOCK. But I got an offer of 25%, even though I've been on Underdog for years today. So I would check. Drew says he did his 25%. Michael says he got the offer. Okay, so it looks like everybody got the offer, which, yeah, I hadn't seen that before, so I didn't want to bring it up, and I didn't want to be like advertising something that I didn't know if everybody had it or not. I figured Underdog maybe identified me and said, clearly this dude's a fish. Throw him a 25% bonus. But yeah, it looks like most people got the offer. The Ladster says him and Bushy are sharing a hotel bed in Buffalo sometime soon, which sounds exciting. Wish I could be there, my friend. So we may have to take Bateman. It's gross. The ideal was we got Andrews, but the team at 9 sniped us on Andrews. In reality, I would have rather just gone Brock Purdy, said, F it, give me the stack with Kittle. I think Purdy's a much better pick than Bateman. But Actually, Mason, you're a freaking idiot. You can go Isaiah Likely. You can go DeAndre Hopkins. There are options later. Okay. Well, we took Bateman. We should have taken Brock Purdy. Ripperoni pepperoni. Ripperoni pepperoni. Blake saying his team's at 5. Let's get the opinion. All right, let's check out your team at 5, Blake. CeeDee Lamb, round 1, garbage. Literally can't even imagine why you'd go in that direction. Trey McBride, round 2. I wouldn't touch this dude through the first 7 rounds of the draft. Chase Brown, round 3, screams the biggest bust I have ever seen. What are you doing with DJ Moore in round 4? Amari, you took a rookie in round 5? A rookie. Jared, you took a Cleveland Brown in round 6. Somebody who got shot in round 7. You took somebody who's 4'11" in round 8. Oh, absolutely brutal performance. Start to finish. I may or may not have to reach out to Underdog and ask them for a favor of limiting your account, because I don't know if it's ethical to have you donating to the league pot this way. Absolutely brutal, my friend. Absolutely. Obviously, jokes aside, I really actually do like it. Yeah, the Lamb stack. Chase Brown round 3 is probably one of my favorite picks. Once you go through the first 3 rounds, you definitely need to catch up at receiver, which I feel like you did in the middle rounds. I think you are 100% going to need to chase the wide receiver points through the rest of this draft. If you can catch up at receiver, cool. If you can't, you may be toast. But that's what it's going to come down to. Is Drake May already gone? I think he is, but I have Diggs. Kyle Williams is still on the board. Y'all know I've taken Kyle Williams very little, but when we have Diggs, I think it makes sense to take both and go, what if Drake May ends up popping off? May did go, which is what I thought, but who took him if they don't have Kyle Williams and they don't have Diggs? What else are we doing here? I think maybe it's a little bit too early for Likely, so we'll just take Ramondre. Lawrence doesn't do anything for us. McCarthy doesn't do anything for us. Penix doesn't do anything for us. So this is going to be a team that we're going to say, what if the New England Patriots are a top 10 offense in the NFL this year? And having Diggs, Kyle Williams, Ramondre Stevenson is the move. So at running back, we're currently sitting with Genty, Kamara, Aaron Jones, Ramondre Stevenson. So we have some old crusty dudes, and then Ashton Genty. Wide receiver, we have A.J. Brown, Xavier Worthy, Stephon Diggs, Michael Pittman, Rashad Bateman, Kyle Williams. So we have some old crusty dudes, and Worthy and Kyle Williams. Quarterback, we have Lamar. Tight end, we have Kittle. Obviously rolling with the Lamar and Bateman stack, and we will be looking for Likely in the following round if we can get them. Jamie says, what's your strategy around bye weeks? Literally do not care about bye weeks. Not in like Best Ball Mania, because the thing about this Underdog tournament is you are highly, highly incentivized to try to optimize for points in weeks 15, 16, 17. So if that's the number one goal here, is to optimize in points, for weeks 15 through 17, I'm not exactly going to be caring about 3 of my running backs sharing the same bye in week 8. The points in week 8 just matter so much less if it's going to hurt my chances of being the highest scoring week 17 team by 1%. Mr. Padilla says, how's my team, Mason? Let's check this out. Again, if y'all don't know, Mr. Padilla, I can't believe you're not a moderator. We need to make you a mod. Long time member of the flock. Was at the first flock meetup. Drafting right next to us. We got Neighbors, JSN, Devonta Smith, Godwin, Christian Kirk. Not a big Kirk guy, but again, you kind of have to take a wide receiver at the end of this tier. We have Bowers holding the fort down at tight ends. Running back, we have Harvey, Pollard, Robinson, Charbonnet. So you have the projectable volume with Pollard and Brian Robinson. The upside rookie shot with RJ Harvey with projectable volume. I definitely think you're done drafting running back at that point when you go Rachaad White 135. And then for Fields, we don't have Garrett Wilson, but I mean, obviously we can go for like Mason Taylor later, and Fields does give you the rushing upside. That you can get a spike week without a Jets pass catcher. Okay, so McCarthy falling. I absolutely love the McCarthy price. Again, McCarthy doesn't have the rushing upside, so it's going to be difficult to take him unstacked, however. If we take Algier, he's our last RB, which I think may be what we do here. Let's go with it. Frank says, Mason building his team around New England while Boston's getting smoked by the Knicks. Shame, brother. Vinny says, pretty sure Mason was watching my screen. I waited and then left to plant some herbs. Bam, 2 minutes later, I get the YouTube notification. I'm dodging that heat, Vinny. Oh, crap. We are on the clock. We're going to go Brenton Strange, 158. The Strange ADP, to be honest with you, feels very tied to just the Lawrence team. Like, if you look at these drafts, the vast majority of them are going to have Lawrence going at the turn here. Obviously, a couple rounds before this. The reason for that is Brian Thomas always goes to the 1-2 turn. Usually it's 12, 13, 11, 14, 10, 15. Here he goes at pick 9, which I feel like is an oddity, but typically Brian Thomas is going over here. You look at Travis Etienne. I'm sorry, not Travis Etienne. That doesn't matter as much. You look at Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter, I believe, has an ADP of 40. So Hunter a lot of times is going here as well. So what that leads to is it leads to a lot of drafts where Trevor Lawrence is on this side of the board. So I think that kind of explains the Brenton Strange ADP. Because if I look at Strange in comparison to like Pat Frymuth, Dalton Schultz, Cade Otton, like I don't necessarily think this player should be going like 4 rounds ahead of them. I think he's about the same guy. Now, of course, I'm going to be drafting hundreds of these teams. I feel like I've taken almost none of Brenton Strange. So I will mix them in here, even though it doesn't particularly feel like a great pick for us. But again, going back to it, my ideal was getting Andrews previously. We didn't get Andrews, so then my ideal after that was to hopefully get Likely. We didn't get Likely. So what that results in is an absolute panic selection of Brenton Strange. Okay. TT Warriors says Travis Hunter won't get 900 yards draft away. I don't know if y'all saw, but Underdog actually put out the season-long pick'em totals. And I actually added Travis as one of my lowers. I've been debating this. I'm kind of waiting for a pick'em promo, to be honest with you. Which there are a couple pick'em promos. Which they do have a gimme pick for me right now, which is pretty nice. I can change any pick to 0. But one thing that I was looking at is Hunter to go lower than 1.5 defensive touchdowns. But TG Warriors says he won't get 300 yards. His higher lower right now is 750 receiving yards. So feel free to go take that lower. I'm a lot more confident with him going lower than 1.5 interceptions. But that's just me. And yes, if you have not done so already, please go down there, drop a like on this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move this over. I know who I want. Let's see if we get him. Tua falling a decent amount. Is the Waddle team over here? Tyreek's not going to be, but Waddle may. Dylan Sampson goes. Does Mr. Padilla take a third quarterback? He has Field and Ward. He goes to us. So we are going to grab Anthony Richardson. The team after us is Allen and Stroud. And they actually only have 3 running. Actually, we're not taking a running back regardless, Mason. Stop being stupid. We're going to go Anthony Richardson. We'll take Richardson. Again, I feel like we've drafted a lot of him this year. Not because I think he's good. I'll reiterate what we said 2 years ago when we were drafting a decent amount of Lance early in the offseason. I don't think he's good, but I think if he starts, he has a tremendous amount of rushing upside in a good offense with a good situation. So the dude will score fantasy points. Now with Lance, worked out horribly, simply because the man did not start. So maybe it's a repeat. With Richardson, that's going to be the major concern. But we'll figure it out together. Okay. Reynolds Turtle says y'all are not ready for a Stroud 5,000-yard passing season. Let's see what Stroud has done, and let's see what the projection is on Underdog. So Stroud, through the first 2 years of his career, I'm not saying anything against Stroud, just trying to be objective. 4,100 passing yards, 3,700 passing yards. So averaging about 3,800. This past season, he fell down to about 220 passing yards per game. So what's crazy is you look at that rookie season where he had 4,100 passing yards. He did that with only 15 games played. His yardage number dropped 400 passing yards from year 1 to year 2, while at the same time playing 2 more games. So he was the QB 9 in fantasy points per game as a rookie, and the QB 27 in fantasy points per game in year 2. Efficiency obviously fell as well. So Frank says, if Rodgers goes to the Steelers, where does his ADP go? Let me know in the chat. Rodgers signs with the Steelers. And again, whenever we bring up Rodgers going to Pittsburgh and how it helps like DK Metcalf and how it would help pretty much everybody in that Steelers offense, we have a lot of people in the chat screaming at me going, oh my gosh, I'm a Jets fan. Don't tell me about Rodgers. Rodgers is a bum. He's not going to be any good. I'm not saying he's going to make the Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl contenders. I'm not saying he's going to make the Pittsburgh Steelers win a playoff game. What I'm saying is, even if he's not nearly as good as he once was, the dude's probably better than Mason Rudolph if we're trying to get DK Metcalf fantasy points. Rodgers was the QB 18 in fantasy last season. Average is about 230 passing yards a game, 1.6 passing touchdowns. Adjusted yards per pass attempt at 6.3, obviously significantly lower than through the rest of his career. But please let me know in the chat, would you all rather have Aaron Rodgers as a Pittsburgh Steeler or Geno Smith as a Raider in fantasy? Geno or Rodgers in fantasy? Looking at Geno this past season, where we said Rodgers was the QB 18 in points per game. Geno was the QB 16 in points per game. Okay. Let's smooth this over. Darnold falling. I really like the Darnold price. Do we have any Seattle options? No, we don't. We're just going to take another Colt with Adonai Mitchell. Hope that we get a spike with Anthony Richardson here. And obviously, looking at our wide receiver room, we just need as many bodies in here as possible that can provide us random spike weeks because honestly, we may be going with the 9th receiver, which I don't do often, but we just fell so far behind at the position this year. Sorry, not this year, in this draft. We're going to go Roman Wilson, which feels a little bit shaky considering the fact that you do have the Chris Olave trade rumors to the Steelers. But it looks like every single person says Geno over Rodgers. So let's get another sense of his ADP. I just want to get more Best Ball Mania drafts, to be honest. 127. My thing is, the issue that I have is how many months do we have of Underdog drafting? Let me pull this up. Days until the season starts, NFL. 111 days until the season starts. So we have 111 days of drafting. May, June, July, August, some September. Yeah, so that sounds about right. I have like 130 Best Ball Mania drafts left. I need to be a little bit more selective with these. To be honest with y'all, I just kind of want to hop in these BBMs. I don't really want to get in the Chihuahua anymore. I'm feeling good enough. But I only get 150. So, I don't know. But let me figure out this other Geno thing. I'll be in this draft at 5. We got DeKings in here at 12. Demonic Celery in here at 4. OG Jackson in at 7. Jimmy asking if we're going to max the puppy. No way I maxed the puppy. I don't think I've ever maxed the puppy tournament. It's just too tough, to be honest. Cool Man says just draft your girlfriend teach your girlfriend how to draft. It's a cheat code. I actually do need to get my girlfriend to try something for me. If there is a single, I'm going to pull this up one more time because I did not get a single comment about this, which I understand 99% of y'all watching already signed up on Underdog. But I had a graphic designer make us this, and I haven't pulled it up when I do my little Underdog promo specifically. We're going to take Puka Nakua here relatively easily. I'd rather have Puka over Nico Collins for sure. I haven't been bringing it up specifically because I don't even know if it's going to work. I guess that little URL I showed y'all previously, I need to get her to try to do it. I don't think I've ever had her make an Underdog account. And I just need to make sure that it automatically inserts code FLOCK. Because if you go through the link in the live chat, that automatically puts in code FLOCK. And I need to make sure this QR code does the same. Here it is. If anybody does not have an Underdog account, I don't even need you to deposit. Just please scan that, make an account, and let me know in the account process if it automatically put in code FLOCK for you. And we're going to take Drake London. Y'all know I've taken a lot of AJ Brown. I'm almost to the point where I want to say AJ Brown over London, but it's such a coin flip that I'm not going to go out on a limb. I'm not going to be saying that. Because of the ADP and the way it's set up, where AJ Brown typically goes behind London, I've been taking a lot of AJ Brown before him. I probably will end up with more AJ Brown than Drake London, but I need to get myself London in these drafts. And if I was smart, and this is what I need to just remind myself when we're in the second round with, and this is what I would recommend for y'all as well. If you're going to take a wide receiver at the beginning of round 2, like pick 17 or before, like pick 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, probably makes sense to take Drake London. The reason being is if you're like at pick 57, 58, 59, 60, you're not going to get Jalen Hurts making it this far to you. Where if you're here at pick 19, if you're able to grab AJ Brown, 1, I think it's a great value in the first place. 2, there's a chance you can follow it up with Jalen Hurts at 54. Like I told you, I was in a puppy draft off the live stream today, and this is almost exactly what I did. I think it was actually a Gibbs start as well. I went like Gibbs, AJ Brown, random player in round 3. I think it was Tyreek. And then in round 4, I followed it up with Devonta Smith, essentially improving my odds of getting Jalen Hurts in the following round. Okay. Chase Brown goes 30. Rice off the board as well. Let's take Devontae Adams. This is probably going to be the first Puka and Adam teams that I've had together. Okay. Girlfriend just actually tried to call me, but I am excited. We have a date tonight at the... We've been watching The Studio, and which is pretty cool because I told y'all right now she's working on a movie, so we're like staying in Hollywood just for a bit. And we've been here for the past couple of months. So, like, obviously drive around everywhere. And the studio, which is the new Seth Rogen show, is filmed, like, the set's pretty much Hollywood. And, like, the last episode we watched, they literally drove down our street where we're living. And I was like, oh, my God, that's insane. But they went to this restaurant that we've driven by a couple times called, I think, the Smokehouse. And we have reservations tonight that I'm excited. So if you're in LA, ooh, crap, we're on the clock. I will probably take James Cook over Travis Hunter. Okay, so here's my thing with Hunter. I have taken almost none of him in these live streams, right? And I could be wrong with this, but I am pretty confident in saying this. What are the odds he is going at the 3-4 turn when we get to August and the regular drafters come in? And by the regular drafters, I mean the people that don't have a problem. As again, I've already admitted I probably have a problem here. Y'all are watching a fantasy football best ball live stream May 16th. I don't want to diagnose you, but you may or may not have a problem as well. But when the normal people come in, the normies, the well-adjusted people, they're going to see Travis Hunter. They're going to go, isn't this dude going to play defense? And I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever when we start running projections on this Jags offense. Travis Hunter slips to round 5, he slips to round 6. And then in August, I can catch up. I can still have 8, 9, 10% of them, but dodge all the early exposure at the 3-4 turn. So for me, I've been just fine taking Ted McMillan. Hunter may be better than McMillan. I don't know. But in my mind, I think there's a better probability that Hunter slips rather than McMillan does. So yeah, this is my plan. I'm going to circle back in August, and I'm probably going to take a decent amount of Travis Hunter. I just don't know if I'm doing it right now. And y'all are going to hate this with a freaking passion, and I don't even know if I want to do it. I'm not going to do it on the live stream. Maybe off the live stream, I'll go ahead and I'll take Waddle here, but I'm not going to publicly humiliate myself. I'll do some self-humiliation rituals and take Jalen Waddle in round 5 later. But I'm not going to do it in front of y'all. We'll take Chuba Hubbard, even though I talked about it before. Well, y'all know a big reason we won multiple underdog tournaments, big reason we got 16th place in Best Ball Mania, is I think we are way ahead of the curve identifying that the RB dead zone does not exist anymore. All the people that have been screaming about the RB dead zone on Underdog for years, none of them make money. Because over the past few years, some of the biggest hits have come from round 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 running backs. But Chuba Hubbard, in my mind, actually does fit that profile of like an RB dead zone guy from 10 years ago when the dead zone actually existed. And that is something that does concern me a bit. Okay. We got spicy hot out here. Jimmy says, not answering my girlfriend's FaceTime to watch fantasy football drafts. That's pretty funny. And this is the freaking problem. Not my drafting problem, but my problem is I know when I'm on the clock in round 6, I want to take Kenneth Walker over freaking Jawan Jennings. So now all of a sudden, I've gone 3 running backs over the past 3 rounds. Even though we start 3 wide receivers straight, I still feel like I'm going to be a little bit lackluster. But again, I've looked at this 1,000 times. Why the hell would I ever take this dude ahead of Kenneth Walker? He's finished with the wide receivers 79, 86, 95, and 27. The dude's going to be like 28 years old this year. Yes, the efficiency was great, 2.44 yards per route run this past season, but the efficiency was god awful every year before that. I'm never taking someone with this profile ever ahead of Kenneth Walker. Jimmy says because Debo is gone. The thing is, Ayuk is back. Ricky Pearsall is back. Jennings, in my mind, has more competition this year than he did last year. And what did Debo do last year? Debo's the wide receiver 48. We're so happy that his 3.4 receptions per game's out of this offense. I don't know. Spicy Hot says, do you think week 17 drafting's getting out of hand? I've said it for a long time, but I think 99% of people drafting to optimize for week 17 will not make it at week 17. I think it matters for some tournaments. It does not matter for all. Demonic Celery says, bully quarterback at 4 with late Burrow. You have Higgins, so I don't hate it. The team at 1 is 7 straight receivers, which if you look at the historical data on Underdog, 5 straight receivers is actually pretty damn good. 7 straight receivers is very tough. If you do it, you can't take another wide receiver through the rest of the draft. And here we are. We are dancing with the devil as we always are. We're going to take Sam Laporta at pick 80. And we are going to I guess do some sort of ritual hoping that this is what we need. I need like a dance ritual when we need a wide receiver to fall to us to get somebody. I don't know. Blake says, Jennings is a better fill-in for Ayuk than Debo. 80% of Debo's targets would never go to Jennings. Yeah, in my mind, Debo leaving's the bump for Ricky Pearsall. I don't think it's the bump for... Okay, so here's the thing. I have no option. I think Brian Robinson and Isaiah Pacheco are better picks. But we have to go with Josh Downs. We absolutely have to get wide receiver points for this team. And I don't hate the team. I think getting Laporta at where we did is freaking massive. Wide receiver, we have Puka, London, Adams, Josh Downs. Now, of course, we are chasing wide receiver points as we always find ourselves. Later in this draft, we have to hit on receivers. Running back, we have James Cook, Chuba Hubbard, Kenneth Walker. Tight end, we have Laporta. We'll figure it out. Daniel says, do you do any of the weekly winners drafts, Mason? I may do some off the live stream this year. But the thing is, I just know myself that we are not going to be able to... I have no idea what to do with weekly winners. I think weekly winners is really optimized for like DFS people, which I'm just simply not. Kyle says, why Downs instead of Baker? I didn't have any bucks and we needed a wide receiver. Overtake Blake says, are you worried about the... So keep in mind, with Laporta, horrible pick in fantasy last year that I took a lot of. I thought it was crazy that Sam Laporta was going in round 4 after being the tight end 1 in total fantasy points as a rookie. So I took a ton of Laporta. Per game, he wasn't that bad. He was the tight end 9. And what's crazy is if you look at the game logs, his routes run completely changed from early in the season to late in the season. So what I think it was that injury that he was dealing with in training camp really limited his usage early in the year. And then the snap rates jumped up dramatically in the second half of the season. So did the routes run. So did the fantasy points. So I think Laporta at this price point is completely fine. And we are going to take Kelsey, I guess, and then call it a day at tight end. We need wide receiver way more than we need tight end, but I think Travis Kelsey outscores Keon Coleman. So what am I supposed to do? And then in terms of our quarterback stacks, obviously Stafford, Michael Penix, and Anthony Richardson, Jared Goff. Those are the guys we're looking at. So Goff could be a pick for us on the way back around. But again, we really, really need wide receiver help. Okay. Jeff flexing on us that he has a life. Jeff, my guy, I'm happy for you. But just because you have a life doesn't mean you have to clown on me for not. All right. Okay. Do we reach on Shaheed? I don't know if we have another option. We need wide receiver points. Maybe we somewhat pretend like the Chris Olave rumors today that Olave is getting dealt, blah, 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 are true. And maybe Shaheed's the last guy left in the worst offense in the NFL. Jimmy says we have to peep the guy drafting at 1. The guy drafting at 1's donated. He's taken 8 wide receivers in the first 9 rounds, and his only other pick's Cam Scatterby. That is what we call a donation. Sometimes you will get people in these drafts. I do it often. That want to just donate their $25 to the tourney, to the ecosystem. You thank those people. That's why y'all should thank me every day. Okay. Daniel says he did 1 week last season and won $1,000 week 5 and week 13. Pretty impressive. Okay. Cool Man says, please censor the word life. It hurts my feelings. It is. Yeah, you're welcome for donating to the ecosystem. You're welcome for paying the rake. Jaw Prime says, Puka worries me. He's like Fred Sanford with the heart attacks. He's always getting minor injuries. So last season, yes, Puka did get injured. He played 17 games 2 years ago. Like, Puka's played 2 seasons and he's missed 6 games. He's the wide receiver 6 as a rookie and wide receiver 3 from a points per game perspective as a second-year player. We're going to take Fields at 128. Y'all know I'm not taking Fields super often in these streams, but falls 24 picks past ADP. Again, we've talked about him before. You can get the spike weeks without having the passing volume there, so you don't necessarily need to stack Fields. So 128 feels completely fine. And we're going to get our stacks later with guys like Stafford, Penix, Richardson. And dear God, if we wanted to take a wide receiver next, the next receiver is Jalen McMillan. Unless you're thinking what I'm thinking. If you're thinking what I'm thinking, say the word. And we maybe can go in that way. Stroud off. Dak, we can't go with. May, we can't go with. Lawrence, we can't go with. Kincaid, we can't. It's Spears or Quentin Johnston. That's it. We have 5 receivers. We're not that down bad. And 3 of them are our first 3 picks. We're going to go Tajay Spears, 137. 2-man backfield, pretty damn safe in saying that. Much improved offense as well from last season to this season. So, let's go. Yeah. Quentin, the big Q, come on down. I don't know if he'll make it back to us, but he has a better shot at making it back to us than Spears does. The Spanner Brothers says, how many of your viewers play best ball? I'm assuming almost everybody here drafts on Underdog. Can somebody, if you do not If you have never done an underdog draft, can you and bet you're watching this live stream, can you please let me know right now? That would be very interesting to know. I'm assuming most people here have at least done one underdog draft. Vote Thread King says, how can I get my chat to pop up on the screen like that? You got to have some pizzazz. You got to have that special thing about you. Your name's got to sparkle when you send that message. But we got people in the chat that have never played best ball, which is interesting. We got Nolan, OMG Fantasy out here. Says, what's Underdog? Where can I draft and with what code? My guy. You may or may not know. I'd be in the mood to tell you, but sadly, our draft is ruined after pick 147. You have seen some of these quarterbacks fall a tremendous amount. Lawrence is still available here. So again, we're completely done drafting tight end, right? Tight end's off our board. We have the combo Laporta and Kelsey, which last season would have been expensive. This year, we get him at pick 80 and pick 104. It's much more reasonable. Okay. Leggett goes 150. Garindo goes 151. So we're going to take Michael Penix. Keep it stupid simple. We have Drake London. We need another quarterback. Michael Penix is right there at the top ADP. Now is probably the time to take him. Grand Bacon says, what happened to the wardrobe over the years? So here's my thought process, right? We start fully clothed. We start head to toe suited up, even wearing the dress shoes, even wearing the dress socks every single day. Every year that's gone by, I've been removing one article of clothing. The first year it was the shoes. The second year it was the socks. The third year it was the pants. Y'all haven't realized up until this point, but now we're on year 4. And we've removed the suit jacket. So just wait until year 5. Wait until year 6. This stream's about to get a hell of a lot spicier. Okay. We need another wide receiver, obviously. We kind of need Stafford too, but here's what we're going to do. Scared money don't make money. All right. Scared money don't make money. We have Puka. We have Adams. Stafford's going to have 5 rushing yards this year. You need to have Stafford stacked. So we're going to take a receiver. We're going to dance with the devil that we get Stafford on the way back. But I think based off the context of this board, probably pretty likely that we do. Wide receiver, we have Puka, London, Adams, Downs, Shaheed, Joshua Palmer. Running back, we have James Cook, Chuba Hubbard, Kenneth Walker, Tajee Spears. Tight end, we have Laporta, Kelsey. Quarterback, we have an unstacked Fields. We have Michael Penix paired up with London. If I was a betting man, we probably get Stafford here at 175. Disbanded Brother says Mason hangs with Bill's girlfriend, which is true. This is okay. Let's be real here. Obviously, a lot of people have been talking about Bill Belichick's girlfriend. What I've not heard anybody say, I don't know if I should say this or am I allowed to say this? Can we at least all agree she's pretty good looking? Yes or no? Yes or no? Let me know. Okay. And of course, the team at one's trying to ruin our draft. So they go ahead. They take Stafford. So what we will do instead is we will go for the rushing quarterback upside. Hopefully we get the spike with Anthony Richardson. And we will take AR here. Let's see what the chat has to say. Frank's a solid 8. Yeah. Augusta says Belichick can do better. How old is Belichick? Do you really think Belichick can do better? if I was Bill Belichick's age and this woman wanted to be my girlfriend, I would throw it all away. Like, I know everybody's like clowning on Belichick. In my opinion, he's doing the most rational thing a human could do. Like, I get it, man. Why do y'all think I'm working? Why do y'all think I'm trying to win Best Ball Mania? Okay. Devin Neal goes 180. Did something happen with Tank Bigsby? We'll take him. We need a 5th running back. He's fallen 34 picks past ADP. I feel like we haven't taken him a lot this year. Not nearly as much as we took him last year. But the reason we're not taking him as much this year is he used to be around 18 pick where there was nobody else in this backfield. Now you have ETN as well as Tootin. So we'll take Bigsby as our 5th running back. And the next 2 rounds, we probably, not probably, we for sure just go wide receiver. Like, we have the quality wide receivers at the top, but then just because we have nothing in the middle, we need to also have the quality at the top and the quantity below. So wide receiver, we have Puka, London, Adams, Downs, Shaheed, Joshua Palmer. Running back, we have James Cook, Chuba Hubbard, Kenneth Walker, Spears, Tank Bigsby. Quarterback, we have an unstacked Fields. We have Penix with London. We have Anthony Richardson with Downs. Tight end, we have Laporta and Kelsey, and we're going to grab 2 more wide receivers as well. Jimmy says Dobbins to KC. That would be very interesting. Now, this is the real question. If you're Bill Belichick, but the thing is, it's girlfriend, not wife for a reason. Right? So Bill gets married, no prenup. Then I'm like, come on, man. That's a step too far. But if it's just girlfriend at this point, he's living his life, and I applaud him. All right. We need 2 receivers. I'm going to take Jalen Tolbert. I'd rather have Jalen Tolbert than Jalen Coker. Coker's probably the better wide receiver, but Coker could be the wide receiver 4 in his offense with Bryce Young at quarterback, where Jalen Tolbert's the wide receiver 3 with Dak. So we're going for it. We finally have some people that like us, that like this draft. Seahawks fan says she's trying to get a shoe in for a coaching job. She's the next defensive coordinator at UNC. Okay. We're probably going to scroll down a bit. Actually, we're not even going to. We're just going to take Adonai Mitchell. We have Richardson. I've taken too much Adonai Mitchell. Like, he's probably, I don't want to say probably, he's definitely my most drafted round 18 guy at this point. I don't think it's close either. But I think we may cut the live stream here, ladies and gentlemen. No, we only did 2 drafts tonight, but got to go to dinner. And we started a little bit late because I had to go get the girlfriend presents, which I'm excited to give to her. But appreciate, ladies and gentlemen, for hanging out with me. Obviously, we're going to keep crushing away. We will have 150 Best Ball Mania teams on this live stream this year. Really appreciate you. And really hope we get to see you out with the live stream. Maybe tomorrow night, but also maybe on Monday night. We'll see how this weekend goes.